Imagine a name whispered across generations, a symbol of American ambition, innovation, and reach. For over a century, it was the beating heart of countless communities, a gateway to prosperity, and the very definition of a one-stop shop. From the deepest rural farmhouses to the soaring heights of urban skylines, it was everywhere, selling everything. This wasn't just a store, it was a phenomenon, an institution so ingrained in the national fabric that its collapse seemed utterly impossible. But the impossible happened. A titan fell. This is the story of Sears, 130 years from undisputed retail king to a whisper in the wind, a cautionary tale of what happens when a giant fails to adapt. Our story begins not in a grand department store, but with a humble watch salesman in North Redwood, Minnesota. Richard Warren Sears, a station agent, began selling watches as a side hustle in 1886. When a shipment of watches was rejected by a local jeweler, Sears bought them himself and sold them to other station agents for a profit. This small venture quickly grew, and by 1893, he partnered with Alva Curtis Roebuck, a watchmaker, to form Sears, Roebuck and Company. Their genius was simple yet revolutionary: the mail-order catalog. Before paved roads and widespread department stores, rural America was a land of limited choices. Sears' catalog changed everything. It was more than just a list of products, it was a wish book, a window to a world of possibilities. From farming equipment and clothing to jewelry and even entire kit homes, anything you could imagine was delivered right to your doorstep. For a generation isolated by distance, Sears brought the bounty of the city, fostering trust through guaranteed satisfaction or your money back. By the early 20th century, Sears was a dominant force, processing hundreds of thousands of orders daily. The company truly blossomed under the leadership of Julius Rosenwald, who bought out Sears and Roebuck and transformed it into the world's largest retailer by 1906. But Sears wasn't content with just mail order. Seeing the shift towards urban living and the rise of the automobile, it opened its first retail store in Chicago in 1925. This was a pivotal moment, marking Sears' aggressive expansion into physical retail. These stores were massive, often anchoring new shopping centers and becoming community hubs. By the mid-20th century, Sears was an unparalleled powerhouse. Its private label brands like Kenmore Appliances, Craftsman Tools, and Die Hard car batteries became household names, synonymous with quality and value. Sears didn't just sell things, it built America. It even ventured into financial services, insurance, and real estate. The pinnacle of its ambition was literally etched into the Chicago skyline. The Sears Tower, completed in 1973, was the world's tallest building for decades, a monument to a company that seemed untouchable, limitless, and eternal. Yet, even as the Sears Tower pierced the clouds, the first faint cracks were beginning to show. The retail landscape was undergoing a profound transformation. The rise of suburban shopping malls, which Sears itself had helped to popularize, brought with it a new breed of competitors. Discount retailers like Kmart and Walmart began to chip away at Sears' customer base with their aggressive pricing and efficient supply chains. Specialty stores focused on specific product categories, offering deeper selections and expert advice that Sears' generalist approach couldn't match. Sears, for all its might, began to display a worrying complacency. Its massive internal bureaucracy made it slow to react. Decisions took too long, innovation often stalled, and a focus on cost-cutting over customer experience started to alienate its loyal shoppers. While the world sped up, Sears seemed to stand still, resting on the laurels of past glories. This became painfully evident in the 1980s and 90s, when Walmart truly exploded onto the scene, offering a shopping experience that was often cheaper and more convenient. Sears tried to modernize its stores, change its branding, even dabble in new formats, but these efforts often felt piecemeal and lacked a coherent strategy. The merger with Kmart in 2005, spearheaded by financier Eddie Lampert, wasn't a strategic expansion but a desperate attempt to combine two struggling giants, hoping that together they could survive. It was less a marriage of equals and more a joining of two sinking ships. The new millennium brought an even more disruptive force: the internet. While competitors like Amazon embraced e-commerce with revolutionary zeal, Sears was notoriously slow to adapt. Its online presence was clunky, difficult to navigate, and offered a poor user experience compared to its agile digital rivals. Customers, now empowered by the click of a button, simply migrated elsewhere. Under Eddie Lampert's leadership,
the company's focus shifted dramatically from retail operations to financial engineering. Iconic assets, once pillars of the company's strength, were stripped away and sold off. The revered Craftsman tool brand was sold to Stanley Black & Decker, Die-Hard batteries to Advance Auto Parts, and Kenmore was licensed out. These sales generated much-needed cash, but they severed crucial connections with customers and eroded the very identity of Sears. Lampert's strategy often involved spinning off successful divisions into separate entities, leaving the core retail business weaker and starved of investment. He envisioned Sears as a holding company, managing a portfolio of assets, rather than a dynamic retailer competing for customers. Store after store closed across the nation, leaving empty husks in once thriving malls. The vibrant energy that once defined Sears locations was replaced by an eerie silence, shelves half empty, staff morale plummeting, and a general air of managed decline. The once grand wish book became a ghost of its former self, a painful reminder of what once was. Finally, in October 2018, Sears Holdings filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. It was a somber, inevitable end to a century-plus legacy, the company's physical footprint shrinking to a handful of remaining stores. The story of Sears is more than just the demise of a retail giant, it's a profound lesson in the relentless demands of modern commerce. It highlights the critical importance of continuous innovation, understanding evolving consumer behavior, and having a clear, adaptable vision. Complacency, even for the most dominant players, can be fatal. Sears failed to transition from a product-centric model to a customer-centric one, and crucially, it underestimated the seismic shift that was e-commerce. Its legacy is now a cautionary tale for every business, reminding us that no matter how big or established you are, if you stop moving forward, the world will leave you behind. Yet, for many, Sears will always hold a place in their memories, a symbol of childhood wonder, of a simpler time, and of the incredible power of a good idea, for a while. What do you remember most about Sears? Was it a specific product, a Christmas catalog, or a shopping trip with your family? Share your memories in the comments below. And if you found this deep dive into the rise and fall of a retail legend insightful, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel for more stories of business triumphs and tragedies, and don't forget to ring the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thank you for watching.